Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted to welcome a very accomplished professional from New York, USA, Mr. Joe Rivera. Joe, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Joe is a resilience keynote speaker and a resilience coach. So, Joe, let me start by asking you, because you had such a fascinating story that you had sent to me. Tell me more about your journey from hitting rock bottom to becoming a successful life coach and a motivational speaker.
Yeah, so I went from Park Avenue to Park Bench. I was emotionally, financially, and spiritually bankrupt. I lost everything. I even almost lost my life.
Wow.
I had my dream job in the financial industry as a stockbroker. In the early 2000s, I'm 25 years old, making 7 figures a year. I should feel like I'm on top of the world at this point.
Correct.
But that 7 figures a year, it wasn't good enough, because I lived in a world with a belief system of never enough. I wanted more. I wanted 8 figures or 9 figures. And at this point in my life, being spiritually bankrupt, Ashutosh, money was the only higher power I knew. I wanted to do whatever it takes to make more money. I'm putting in late nights at the office one evening, and this guy that we called Johnny Connect, we called him that because he had the ability to get his hands on anything you could imagine. So he sits down at my desk and he says, "Hey, Joe, you think you're a top producer now? Take this little round pill and you're going to produce even more." And keep in mind, I'm on Wall Street in New York City. Everyone's doing some kind of drug. And I'm already smoking weed, drinking, or having some kind of mind-altering substance in my body every single day for the past 10 years at this point. So I said, why not? And that's when I got introduced to opiates. And that's when my battle with substance abuse took off to the next level.
Wow.
My life went dark and became completely unmanageable. I'm risking my life every single day.
Okay.
I overdosed twice. The last time, it took 6 cans of Narcan to bring me back to life.
Wow.
6 fucking cans of Narcan. And that same night, I'm laying in the hospital bed. I wake up. I pulled the EKG electrodes off my body, leave the hospital against medical advice. And then when I get outside, I'm shivering, looking like a crackhead, like Pookie from New Jack City. And the first thing I do, I go call the dealer again to go get high. I mean, wow. Talk about feeling powerless over drugs and alcohol. Then came a weekend that changed my life forever. My sister invites me for an event. At this event, I don't remember exactly what it was, but something clicked. I looked at my sister. She looks at me. And we both started crying.
Wow.
She knew exactly what I was going to say. And then the words come out. The words my family was waiting to hear for over a decade. I said, I don't want to do this anymore, sis. I'm a shell of my true self. I'm tired of writing my obituary. I wanted to begin creating my legacy. After that, I made the decision to achieve sobriety. Now, my story is not unique. Many people struggle with vices that create character defects. Mine was drugs and alcohol. Someone else, yours might be gambling, sex, shopping, overeating, whatever that vice is. It interferes with us being our true self by having us isolate, not being fully present, it creates character defects. For some, life may become unmanageable. Some people lose their motivation or self-esteem. But I promise you, there's a better way to live life.
Absolutely.
You know, I believe living in purpose closes the gap between spirituality and true wealth. And I used to live an unmanageable life where I lacked direction, didn't finish things that I started. I couldn't get out of my own way. Now, I live an incredible life where I know the direction I'm going. I know what my goals are. And when I start something, I finish it. And I shatter those goals because I've been able to build a reliable, repeatable, and transformational system that has helped me create wealth financially, emotionally, and spiritually.
Amazing. What an amazing story, Joe. Thank you so much for sharing it with me. And congratulations on the way you fought the challenges you faced and have come out of it so well. And what inspired you to become a life coach and to help others on the path to recovery?
That's a great question. You know, when I after I achieved sobriety, I was able to build another multi-million-dollar pre-IPO marketing company. And even though I was crushing it and living an incredible life, something was missing. God kept nudging at me and pulling at me and telling me that my journey is not complete and that I had a bigger purpose in life. And that's when I decided to build my coaching and speaking platform. And wow, let me tell you, there's no drug, no alcohol will ever give me that euphoric feeling that I get when I'm able to empower someone to transform their life. For me, that's the gift that keeps on giving. That's where I was able to find my purpose. And you know, I do it because my mission is to empower business owners and leaders around the world.
Right.
To go from overwhelm and lack of direction to reforging their life and living in purpose while closing the gap between spirituality and true wealth.
Well said. Well said. So tell me about your system for aligning the mind, body, soul, and finances to achieve ultimate productivity and fulfillment.
Absolutely. So I have, you know, my 3-pillar system where we dig into perseverance, growth, and spirituality. And because I believe it's important, right, to dig in and realize on that perseverance side, because we're going to all go through perseverance in life. We're going to all go through those bumps in the road. Success isn't just a straight line to the top. There's going to be bumps in the road. It's going to get fucked up. You know what I mean? And overcoming those bumps, overcoming that adversity is what reveals character. So we dig in to helping my clients be able to overcome those obstacles and realizing, getting clarity on what those obstacles are so that they could overcome them. And we also dig into figuring out the why, right? But it's not just about the why. It's also about the what. That's crucial and very important, right? And I help them build a perseverance toolkit. And then we go into uncovering, what the core values are. And crack. It's really important to know what your true core values are so that you could crack through those limited beliefs, right? Because those limited beliefs are going to be there. Until you crack through them, you're not going to be able to uncover what those true core values are, of what makes you, what keeps you going, what's your purpose, what's your drive, right? And being able to help them find that leader within that helps them overcome those limited beliefs, that helps them be able to really, truly live through their core values.
Well said.
And then the spirituality side is, of course, the daily routine is important, and having that higher source. I call it God. Someone else might call it the universe, the infinite intelligence, whatever you believe, right? Having a belief that there's something greater than yourself that brings you to your greatness, that helps you be able to unlock your fullest potential, right? people confuse that spirituality and religion, and it's two completely different worlds.
Correct.
Right? Yeah, there's a higher source involved, but spirituality is also about walking and living in your purpose.
Amazing. And how did your relationship with God evolve through your journey, and how does it impact your work today?
Oh man, I mean, without that relationship, I wouldn't be where I am today. I tip my hat to him for everything that I've been able to accomplish throughout this journey.
Right.
You know, I grew up, I was born and raised Catholic. Right. Along the way, I completely lost my way. I didn't even know what a relationship with God was.
Right.
I thought it was just saying an Our Father, Hail Mary, and asking for forgiveness when necessary.
Correct.
Right. But throughout the journey, after achieving sobriety, I learned to really build a relationship where today God's my father, my brother, my mother, my uncle, my best friend, my everything. And when I put that spirituality first, when I put that component first in my life, the doors that get open, the mountains that get moved is incredible. I mean, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm where I am today. And it'd be selfish for me to keep it to myself and not give it back. So it's my way of giving back, because I asked for so many years. I asked God, man, how can I give this back to you? How could you saved my life? You gave me another way of living. How do I give it back? There's no way for me to be able to reciprocate it. And God kept pushing at me and nudging at me to share your story. Go out there and share it with the world. Help people. Empower people to go out there and close that gap between their spirituality and true wealth. Right?
Great
because
response.
You
Great
know,
so but tell me, how do you define spiritual wealth, and how can an average individual work to achieve spiritual wealth?
Spiritual wealth is of course having that relationship with that higher source, whatever you believe your higher source is, and really building that relationship from within, right? And living to your truest self, right? And being able to give back, to have gratitude. I mean, gratitude is so important, right? Without gratitude, I mean, gratitude opens up the doors for so many opportunities in our life.
Right. Well said. And Joe, what is the role resilience plays in making a comeback? And how do you help individuals harness resilience?
So resilience is probably the key component to being able to come back in your life, right? It comes with overcoming your fears, learning how to face your fears, because for some people, fear could stand for fuck everything and run, right? You want to change that to face everything and reforge. Don't let fear dictate everything in your life and control your life. You drive the wheel. Take that steering wheel. Take that, face that fear head on and overcome that fear. And that's a huge step in being resilient, right? And it's also about, going out there and building support networks, right? You want to be able to learn from people who have done what you're trying to accomplish, what you're trying to overcome, the bumps in the road that they've gone, and see how they overcame those obstacles, so that you can learn how to overcome those obstacles and be resilient. You got to build those perseverance muscles.
Well said. And what are some of the common challenges you have seen when you work with professionals facing exhaustion and powerlessness?
I've seen people who, again, struggle with facing their fears, people that deal with also that inner critic, right? That inner critic that pops up and jumps in everybody's head. Everybody deals with it. It's the people who learn how to overcome it.
Right.
Are the ones who are able to handle that overcome that overwhelm. Because guess what? Our mind is the most powerful tool we were blessed with. So the stories you tell yourself are the stories you're going to believe. The stories you allow yourself to be fed by the media, by social media, all of that is what you're allowing your reality to become. Because guess what? Your thoughts become feelings, emotions. Those feelings and emotions become a reaction, and that reaction becomes your reality. So if you continue to tell yourself, man, I'm overwhelmed, guess what? You're going to be overwhelmed. Right? So that's a big step is handling that inner critic that creates that self-doubt, that creates that worry, right? Because that's where all the worry and self-doubt comes from. It comes from that inner critic, because our circumstances and conditions, they don't dictate our life. We control our own destiny.
Amazing. Well said. My next question, Joe, is how important is accountability in personal transformation, and how do you help people?
Accountability is crucial to your success and overcoming whatever obstacles you have in your way, having that accountability partner to achieve your goals. Accountability comes crucial towards your growth, right? So something that something I do with a lot of my clients, most of my clients, is I make sure that they're held accountable. We do accountability projects, right? And I'll make sure that I'm holding them accountable the following session. The reason I say most clients is some people don't follow through, right? Not everybody's going to follow through on it, but the ones who do follow through on it and do utilize that accountability partner status, they're the ones who are able to break through and have the biggest achievements.
Well said. There's also some work that you do in the area of shifting the paradigm. How does this help influence personal growth and success?
Yeah, so I have my Dream Builder program that we really dive in to shifting that paradigm, because again, the mind is the most powerful tool we were blessed with, right? And if you utilize it towards your advantage, man, the doors that open and mountains that get moved and the achievements that get accomplished is incredible, right? But if you allow that paradigm to not be shifted and you stay in your old way of thinking, you stay in your old ways, and you're not willing to make that change, then those are the people who end up being stuck, right? And they end up not being able to live to their fullest potential because they're letting that old paradigm get in the way. That old paradigm is always going to be there. It's going to be there. It's your job to learn how to shift it. And that's something that I work in detail in every step of my program, through my group coaching and my one-on-one VIP coaching. We really dig into having those paradigm shifts to be able to unlock that fullest potential.
Great response. Thank you. My next question is that, with your own amazing story, what has been the most rewarding aspect of helping others on their path to recovery and success?
To being able to see someone go from being stuck, overwhelmed, lacking direction, to really walking and living in their purpose, and helping them close that gap between spirituality and true wealth, where they come back and I'm hearing the stories and the achievements that they're having in their life. That's the reward for me. That's the gift that keeps on giving. There's nothing better than that, where someone sends me an email or calls me and says, man, Joe, you really had an impact on my life, where I was able to go from A through Z and accomplish things that I never thought I'd accomplish. That's a blessing. Or when I go and I do a keynote and someone comes up to me and says how my story resonated with them, and they come with tears in their eyes and say that I helped them want to make a change in their life. I mean, man, that to me is the most rewarding gift that this whole journey can give me.
Absolutely. And my last question to you, Joe, and this is for the thousands of people who will listen to our conversation. Based on your own learnings from everything that you have faced and have come out, and the fact that you are such a well-respected resilience coach and a keynote speaker, what would you say are 3 lessons you would want a lot of our young viewers and listeners to take away?
The first is, don't be afraid to fail. Fail forward. Fail stands for first attempt in learning. And another would be, don't procrastinate. You know, there's no perfect time to start something. There's never gonna be. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Perfection is an illusion. It's about progression and realizing as long as you progress every day, that's a win. The third, I would say, is, the most important tool for me in my tool belt was the spirituality piece and learning to really connect with that higher source and realizing that I didn't have to do it on my own. I tried to do it on my own so many times, and it ends up empty when that spiritual component is missing. I mean, there's so many people out there who have all this money around the world, right? And they think, you think you have the world by the balls, and there's emptiness. There's something missing. Right. We've seen it happen so many times. I mean, look at Robin Williams, perfect example. The guy took his life. He had the world by the balls, took his life because something was missing. And that's just one name out of millions that have gone through that struggle. So connecting with that spiritual component and really living in your purpose is important. Don't let nobody stop your dreams. Don't pay attention to the dream stompers. You control your own destiny, not anybody else, not your circumstances and conditions.
Very well said. And on that note, Joe, and your 3 incredible lessons, don't be afraid to fail forward. And you said fail could also be first attempt at learning. You said don't procrastinate. And the third one, which is so powerful, is the spirituality element. Connect with the higher power. Thank you so much for speaking to me about your own incredible journey. Thank you for speaking to me about resilience. Thank you also for speaking to me at such length about the different aspects that you have faced and your coaching for people to be able to recover from all the challenges that we all face in our lives. Thank you again, and good luck.
Thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you. Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website, www.tbcy.in, to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the Brand Called You.